Hello pilots, welcome aboard Plasma 1945 with you, and we are going to work through the basics. I'm flying an F-16 Viper and we're going to work through the 3 steps of engaging a target. They're pretty straightforward. First, you need to detect, classify, or sort who you're going to fight with. Next, you will need to survive a BVR, long-range missile assault. And third, we have to get our situational awareness to find the target and get into that close-up fight. And I'm taking off here in an F-16 on Growling Sidewinder PvP server. Now, what I've got here is TAC view on the right side of the screen, and for a place to train and practice, if you have a squad or a team of pilots who want to practice, well, Fox 3MS is the place to go. That's what's powering myself and Red Star pilots whenever we go training. So go to Fox 3MS and get a server for you and for your team to practice. Now, when you do get to the PvP side of the world, you are going to be flying around with random enemy targets that are going to pop up and look for you. What I'm doing here is I'm looking left and right and sweeping with my helmet, looking for anything that's down low, might be sneaking around. I'm also relying on my FCR and on my HSD. The FCR is the radar control on the left side, and my HSD is kind of like my situational awareness, my data link on the right side screen. Now I have a target here, and this is BFG Dusty from the Bushido fighter group. An excellent squad out there, and this is going to be a challenge. Of course, I don't know it's BFG Dusty. It could just be any enemy, but he is going to be our target here. Now, as you can see, the line between my plane and his plane is showing what's known as closure rate. That is the combined speed of my plane and his plane as we head towards each other. The distance is 46 nautical miles. Now, as you can see, I'm not flying directly at him because if you're flying at somebody, the computer is predicting when you should shoot a missile. I'm flying a little bit sideways here because then our closure rate isn't high enough for the computer to compute that he should fire a missile. The goal here is not to allow them to take a first shot, but also I'm using this as time to climb for altitude because he's had more time to get in closer. And I'm going to shoot at a range where my missile should do some damage. Now, as you can see, I've gone from around 3,000 meters to almost 8,000 meters of altitude, pushing up to 24,000 feet. And I can see that Dusty, or the enemy in this case, is at an altitude of around 20,000. So I have the altitude. My speed is about the same, and as I turn in, watch that closure rate on the line between me and the enemy. That's basically going to increase because it's the combined speed of me and the enemy as we head towards each other. I'm within 25 miles. I'm going to shoot at about 20, so I start turning in. And as I turn in, now I'm flying directly at him. My closure rate increases, and Fox 3. Now, I could have fired sideways, but I wouldn't have helped the missile because the missile would have had to make a turn. Dusty returns the favor and fires a missile back at me. I can see him. He is now Angels 18. He's defending very aggressively. My missile's on its way. His missile's on its way towards me. If you'll rewind and look, you'll also see that I pitched up a little bit to give my missile kind of an extra push as it goes up and then comes back down. His missile has gone active, and now I'm going into a defensive mode. I'm diving down, accelerating to make sure that the missile doesn't catch up to me. I'm also flying on a 90-degree angle to kind of try to notch the missile and confuse it. Some chaff and flare as well. And now I can start climbing back up. Once you fly long enough, you'll know sort of when it's a safe time to turn back into the target, because that's what you want to do. You want to get back onto the target as soon as possible. As you can see, the missile is 0.7 Mach. I'm Mach 1.0, and the missile is a few thousand feet now below me. There's no way it has the energy to climb up towards me. So, Dusty sees me, but I'm flying in beam. I drop my tanks to get faster. I could fire a Fox 3 on him, but I'm not going to do that. I want to get into a knife fight. I want to close the distance and practice my close-up fighting skills. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the terrain. On my HSD and the FCR, I can see Dusty's altitude, and I put him into primary data link context. So when I look over to the left, I can actually see his position, where he would be in relation to me. And I can see that he's right there, kind of above the mountains. He has a pretty good chance of taking a shot at me. I still want to get closer. What I'm doing here is pretty dangerous. I should fire a Fox 3 at him, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to run along this mountain here and use it to block him from me and from his missile. It's a risky maneuver, and it pays off. The missile he fires at me hits the mountain. Dusty does the right thing. He expects a missile from me, and he pops chaff and flare. I come around the turn here, and now I'm looking to get into that close-up fight. I've got an AIM-9X, but you could do it with an AIM-9M as well. Remember, your HSD data link is going to be a few seconds late, so I'm scanning left and right with my helmet, looking for him. There's a lock, and a Fox 2. And I pop chaff and flares. And we've got a splash on Dusty. So there you go, guys. First step, find the target, survive the initial missiles, then maintain situational awareness, know where the enemy is and expect them to be there, and then take him down. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. As always, fly safe. Don't do what I always do, but maybe do. As long as you come back and land, that's the most important thing. It's not all about the kills, it's all about the skills. Plasma 1945 with you, signing off. And as always, fly safe, guys.
Altitude.